Hey everyone, Jimmy Fallon here. Or should I say bonjour? You know, France, the land of croissants so flaky they practically shatter when you look at them. The Eiffel Tower that makes you feel like you're in a romantic comedy, even if you're there with your grandma. It's a dream destination. But hold on to your berets, folks, because there are some things you definitely don't want to do in the land of cheese and wine. Stick around, because in this video, we're diving into 5 faux pas that will have you saying oh la la for all the wrong reasons. Get ready to laugh, learn, and avoid those awkward tourist moments. Alright, first things first, let's talk about the magic word. Hello. I'm not kidding, folks. This little word is like a golden ticket to a pleasant interaction. Imagine walking into a bakery, the smell of fresh bread hitting you like a warm hug, and you just blurt out, "Give me a croissant." Whoa, hold your horses. In France, you gotta take it easy. A friendly, "Hello, madam, sir," before asking for anything is essential. It shows respect, it shows you're making an effort, and trust me, it makes all the difference. Think of it this way, hello is the opening act, and your croissant order, that's the encore. Okay, next up, let's talk about the language barrier. If you've ever dreamed of wandering the charming streets of Paris or exploring the lavender fields of Provence, you've probably wondered, will I be able to get by with just English? It's a question every traveler asks at some point, and the answer isn't always straightforward. Now I know what you're thinking, Jimmy, I took French in high school, I can totally pull this off. And hey, kudos for trying. Maybe you remember a few phrases, or maybe you're dusting off that old textbook, hoping it'll all come back to you. The truth is, even a little bit of effort goes a long way, and the French do appreciate when visitors try to speak their language, no matter how basic. But here's the thing. Expecting everyone in France to speak English is like expecting to find a baguette on the moon. It's not gonna happen. Sure, in big cities like Paris, you'll find people who speak some English, especially in tourist hotspots. But venture outside the city, or even into a small neighborhood bakery, and you might find yourself lost in translation. It's not that the French don't want to help, it's just that English isn't as universal here as you might hope. Instead of launching into a conversation like you're on the streets of New York, try this. Learn a few basic French phrases. Even just a simple bonjour or parlez-vous anglais can open doors and break the ice. It shows you're making an effort, and that's always appreciated. Excuse me please, thank you. These little gems go a long way. These magic words can turn a potentially awkward encounter into a friendly exchange. Don't underestimate the power of a polite greeting or a heartfelt thank you. It's not just about the words themselves, but the respect and goodwill they convey. Even if your accent makes the locals chuckle, it happens to the best of us. The effort alone shows respect and a willingness to embrace their culture. In fact, those little moments of laughter can become some of your favorite travel memories. Locals often warm up when they see you trying, and you might even get a few helpful corrections or tips along the way. Plus, who knows, you might even impress your travel buddies with your newfound language skills. So don't be afraid to make mistakes or stumble over your words. Every attempt is a step closer to connecting with the people and the culture. And who knows, you might just discover a hidden talent for languages, or at the very least earn a few smiles and maybe even a new friend along the way. Now let's talk about volume. It's a small detail that might seem insignificant, but it makes all the difference in France. The volume of your voice is kind of like the seasoning in a French dish. You have to know how much to use, otherwise everyone notices. We've all been there, right? You're with your friends, the atmosphere is festive, and without even realizing it, the volume goes up, laughter erupts, and everyone feels free and relaxed. You're excited, you're on vacation, and you're ready to shout it from the rooftops. After all, Paris is the city of lights, romance, and adventure. You want to share every moment, every discovery with the whole world. But here's the thing about France. They're all about that laid-back, sophisticated vibe. Think quiet cafes where you savor an espresso while reading the newspaper or watching life go by slowly through the window. Quiet strolls along the Seine, where the sound of footsteps mingles with the lapping of the water, and where you take the time to breathe in the fresh morning air or enjoy the golden evening light. Conversations that sound more like melodic whispers than loud debates. Here, intimacy, discretion, and respect for each other's space are valued. Voices are soft, laughter is subdued, and even lively discussions remain elegant. So when you're in France, channel your inner secret agent. Imagine you're on a mission. Every word must be chosen carefully, every sentence whispered with elegance. It's almost a French art de vivre. Lower your voice, especially in public places like restaurants and public transport. On the metro, for example, the unspoken rule is not to disturb other passengers. Even in lively bistros, a certain restraint is maintained. Nobody wants to hear you recount your snail adventures from last night while they're trying to enjoy their morning coffee. A little discretion is key to avoiding disapproving looks or furrowed brows. Remember that in France, less is more, and a little discretion goes a long way. By making this small effort, you'll blend into the local atmosphere and you'll discover another facet of French charm, that of refinement, respect, and quiet conviviality. So the next time you toast in Paris, do it with a smile and a little whisper. Alright foodies, this one's for you. If you've ever dreamed of savoring a meal in France, surrounded by the aroma of fresh bread and the gentle clinking of glasses, you're in for a treat, but also a lesson in etiquette. France is a culinary paradise, but before you dive headfirst into that cheese platter, let's talk table manners. French dining is about more than just food. It's a ritual, a celebration, and a dance of manners that's been perfected over centuries. Now, I'm not talking about using the wrong fork here, although that's important too. The French take their table settings seriously, and each piece of cutlery has its moment to shine. But there's more to it than just forks and knives. I'm talking about those little things that can make or break your dining experience. The subtle gestures, the way you hold yourself, and even where you rest your hands, all of these details matter in France. First things first, hands on the table. Unlike in some countries where hands are kept hidden, in France, it's polite to keep both hands visible, gently resting on the table, never in your lap. I know, it's tempting to rest your elbows on the table while waiting for your meal, but in France, that's a big no-no. Elbows on the table are seen as a sign of poor manners, especially during the meal. Keep your hands on your lap until the food arrives, and you'll be golden. But once the food arrives, remember, hands on the table, wrists resting lightly, never slouching or fidgeting. And here's a bonus tip. Use your bread to help push food onto your fork, but never cut it with a knife. Tear it with your hands just like the locals do. Oh, and speaking of food, try to avoid asking for substitutions. In France, the menu is not a list of suggestions, it's a carefully curated experience. French chefs are artists, and they have carefully crafted each dish to perfection. Each ingredient, each flavor is chosen for a reason, and the chef's vision is at the heart of every dish. Asking for modifications is like asking Picasso to add a smiley face to his masterpiece. Not cool, dude. So embrace the adventure, trust the chef, and savor every bite the French way. Bon appétit! Finally, let's talk about the age-old question, to tip or not to tip. Now, I know that in the good old US of A, tipping is practically a national sport, but in France, it's a little different. The service charge is usually included in the bill, so you don't have to pull out your calculator every time you finish a meal. However, leaving a small tip, like rounding up the bill or leaving a few extra euros, is always appreciated. Think of it as a little bonus for excellent service, like giving your waiter a standing ovation for bringing your meal on time. They'll love it, and you'll leave a good impression. It's a win-win. There you have it, folks. 5 things you should never do in France. Remember, a little cultural awareness goes a long way, and by following these simple tips, you're sure to have an amazing time in the land of baguettes, berets, and breathtaking scenery. And hey, if you happen to make a faux pas or two, don't sweat it. Laugh it off, order another croissant, and remember you're on vacation. The most important thing is to relax, have fun, and soak up all the incredible experiences France has to offer. Click the link in the video description and you'll find lots of essential travel products that will help you plan a happy trip for you and your family.
Stop doing nothing. Do something amazing instead. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to stay in the loop with all our new content. Share this with your friends and family too. Let's spread the love together. Your support means the world to me. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.